I stood there in the sterile hospice room, watching my father's eyes widen as he stared at the bill I'd just handed him. His frail hand trembled, clutching the paper that showed every penny of his pension drained for the best care I'd arranged. You did this on purpose," he whispered, realization dawning like a punch to the gut. 30 years of abandonment, and now he knew, revenge was served cold, and I was the one holding the tray. My name is Emily Carter, and this is my story. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, the kind of place where everyone knows your business and pretends they don't. I was 8 years old when my world fell apart. My parents' marriage had been rocky for years. Dad was always out late, coming home smelling like cheap perfume and cheaper beer. Mom tried to hold it together, working double shifts at the diner to keep food on the table. But one day, Dad just packed his bags during the divorce proceedings and bolted. He didn't even say goodbye to me. I remember standing in the driveway, clutching my stuffed bear, watching his old Ford pickup disappear down the road. Divorce freedom, he called it in the note he left for Mom. Freedom from us, I guess. Mom was left with nothing but a stack of bills and a broken heart. She was only 32, but overnight she looked like she'd aged a decade. We moved into a tiny apartment above the laundromat, the kind where the walls were so thin you could hear the neighbors arguing. Mom took on 3 jobs, waitress by day, cleaner at night, and on weekends she'd sew clothes for extra cash. I learned to cook ramen noodles by the time I was 9, and I did my homework under a flickering kitchen light because we couldn't afford to replace the bulb. School was tough too, kids whispered about my runaway dad, and I pretended not to hear. But inside, it burned. Why did he leave? Was I not good enough? As the years went on, Mom never badmouthed him, even though she had every right. She'd say things like, "People make mistakes, Emmy. We just have to keep going." But I saw the toll it took. She developed arthritis from all the standing and lifting, and by the time I was in high school, she was popping pain pills just to get through the day. I helped as much as I could, got a part-time job at the local grocery store, bagging cans and smiling through the exhaustion. College was a pipe dream at first, but I scraped together scholarships and loans, majoring in business because I wanted stability, something Dad never gave us. I graduated and moved to Chicago, landing a job at a marketing firm. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. I sent money home to Mom every month, helped her buy a small house when I could. She deserved that after everything. Dad? He was a ghost. No birthday cards, no calls, nothing. I heard through the grapevine he'd remarried, had 2 more kids, lived in Florida like some retired king. Good for him, I thought bitterly. But life has a way of circling back. It was a rainy Tuesday in April when the call came. I was 38, single, focused on my career. The number was unfamiliar, but I answered. "Emily? It's your father." His voice was weak, raspy. "Cancer," he said. "Stage 4 pancreatic. Doctors gave him months. He'd been through chemo, but it wasn't working. His wife had left him, ironic, right, and his other kids wanted nothing to do with him. I need help, he pleaded. You're my daughter. Blood is thicker than water. Come take care of me. I sat there, phone pressed to my ear, a storm brewing inside. Take care of him? After he fled and left Mom to suffer? After 30 years of silence? But I didn't scream or hang up. Instead, I said, okay, Dad. I'll arrange the best care possible. He sounded relieved, grateful even. I knew you'd come through, Emmy. Love you. Love? That word from him was a joke. But I played along. First, I did my research. Hospices, palliative care, the works. I found the top-rated one in Florida, near where he lived. It was luxurious, private rooms, ocean views, round-the-clock nurses, gourmet meals, even therapy sessions. Cost a fortune, but hey, he wanted the best. I flew down to meet him, acting the part of the dutiful daughter. He looked like a shell of the man I remembered, bald from chemo, skin hanging off his bones. Thank you, he kept saying, tears in his eyes. I smiled and nodded, but inside, I was plotting. See, Dad had a pension from his old factory job, plus some savings. Not a ton, but enough. I got power of attorney, easy when he's desperate and you're the only one showing up. I arranged for the hospice to bill directly to his accounts. Don't worry about the money, I told him. I'll handle it all. He signed everything, trusting me like he never trusted Mom. The first few weeks were smooth. I visited every other weekend, bringing flowers and magazines. We'd talk about old times, well, the good ones, before he left. He apologized vaguely, I was young and stupid. Divorce freed me, but I regret it now. I listened, but didn't forgive. Mom had died 5 years earlier from complications of her arthritis, heart failure, really, from years of stress and overwork. She was only 62. I didn't tell him that at first. Let him think everything was peachy. As the bills rolled in, his pension started draining. I made sure the hospice upsold everything, extra pain meds, private yoga sessions for stress relief, even a personal chef for organic meals. It's the best, I'd say when he asked about costs. You deserve it. He nodded, too weak to argue. One day, about 2 months in, he got suspicious. Emily, how much is this place? My bank statements show withdrawals, big ones. I shrugged. It's expensive, but worth it. Your pension covers it. That's when I handed him the full breakdown. Every charge, itemized. His face paled. This is everything I have. I'll be broke. I leaned in close. Exactly, Dad. Just like Mom was when you left us. She suffered for 30 years, working herself to death while you chased your freedom. Now, you're getting the best care, paid for by every cent you hoarded. And when it's gone? Well, that's on you. He realized then, the setup, the revenge. He begged, cried, but it was too late. I walked out, leaving him to his expensive bed. He passed a month later, alone. I didn't attend the funeral. Revenge isn't pretty, but it felt right. Mom would understand. That's the gist, but let me back up and fill in the details, because this story didn't happen in a vacuum. It built over decades, layer by layer, like a cake of resentment. Let's start from the beginning, really dig into how it all unfolded. I was born in 1985, in that sleepy Ohio town called Milford. Population 5,000, give or take. My parents, Jack and Linda Carter, met in high school. Dad was the charming football star, Mom the quiet bookworm. They married young, had me right after. For the first few years, it was okay. Dad worked at the auto plant, Mom stayed home. We'd have family dinners, picnics on Sundays. But by the time I was 5, cracks showed. Dad started drinking more, arguing with Mom about money. He'd disappear for hours, come back defensive. I didn't understand then, but looking back, there were affairs. Mom found lipstick on his collar once, confronted him. He denied it, but the fights escalated. The divorce started when I was 7. It was messy, lawyers, custody battles. Mom wanted full custody, Dad fought it half-heartedly. But midway through, he just vanished. Cleaned out half the savings, left that note, Linda, this divorce is my freedom. I'll send money when I can. He didn't. We never saw a dime in child support. The courts tried to track him, but he moved states, changed his name slightly, Jack Carter became John Carson or something. Slippery as an eel. Mom didn't crumble publicly. She enrolled in night classes to become a certified nursing assistant, but that fell through because of the hours. Instead, she stuck with waitressing. I remember her uniforms, stained with coffee and grease. She'd come home at midnight, feet swollen, and still tuck me in with a story. Once upon a time, there was a brave little girl who conquered the world, she'd say. I wanted to be that girl. School was my escape. I was a straight-A student, joined the debate team, volunteered at the library. But socially? Rough. Kids like Sarah Jenkins would tease, "Where's your dad? Did he run off with a circus?" I'd punch back sometimes, got suspended once for fighting. Mom grounded me, but secretly, I think she was proud. Don't let them define you, Emmy. By high school, I had part-time jobs. Flipping burgers at McDonald's, then cashier at Walmart. Saved every penny for college. Mom helped too, clipping coupons, buying second-hand clothes. We celebrated small wins, like when I got into Ohio State on a partial scholarship. "You're going places," Mom beamed. But leaving her was hard. I called every day, visited on breaks. College was eye-opening. I majored in business administration, minored in psychology, figured it'd help understand people like Dad. Made friends, Lisa, my roommate, who became like a sister. We partied a bit, dated guys, but I kept walls up. Trust issues, you know? Graduated in 2007, right before the recession hit. Jobs were scarce, but I networked like crazy, landed an entry-level gig at a Chicago ad agency. Started as an assistant, worked up to account manager. Meanwhile, Mom's health declined. The arthritis spread to her knees, back. She couldn't work full-time anymore, relied on disability checks. I sent money, paid for her meds. In 2015, she had a heart attack. Doctors said stress weakened her system. She recovered, but it was a wake-up call. I moved her to a better apartment, hired a part-time aide. But in 2018, another attack, this one fatal. I was there, holding her hand in the hospital. "I love you, Emmy. Be strong." She was gone at 62. The funeral was small, old friends from town came. No sign of Dad. I grieved hard. Threw myself into work, got promoted to senior manager. Dated sporadically, guys like Mark, a lawyer, but it fizzled because I couldn't open up. Therapy helped some, my counselor said I had abandonment issues. Duh. But I built a life, nice condo in Lincoln Park, a cat named Whiskers, book club with friends. Stable, independent, the opposite of what Dad left us. Then, that call in 2023. Dad, now 70, tracked me down via Facebook or something. "Emily Carter?" "It's Jack." Cancer diagnosis hit him hard. His second wife, Brenda, divorced him when the treatments got expensive. His sons, in their 20s, distanced themselves, said he was a lousy father to them too. Poetic justice. I didn't rush down. Made him wait a week, then flew to Tampa. He was in a rundown apartment, smelling of sickness and regret. "I messed up," he admitted over weak tea. "Left you and your mom high and dry. But I'm dying, kid. Need family." "Family?" I bit my tongue. "What do you need, exactly?" "Care," he said. "Someone to manage his affairs, be there." I agreed, but on my terms. First, the power of attorney. His lawyer drew it up, I signed as his agent. Then, the hospice search. I picked Sunset Shores Hospice, 5 stars, spa-like amenities. Cost, $15,000 a month base, plus extras. His pension was about $4,000 monthly, savings around $200,000. Perfect. I moved him in, decorated his room with photos, from his new life, not ours. Nurses fawned over him, he loved it. I visited, played cards, listened to his stories. He talked about his adventures post-divorce, traveling, new jobs, his other family. "I thought I'd be happy," he confessed. But it was empty. I nodded sympathetically, but shared bits about Mom. "She worked so hard after you left. Never remarried." He winced. "I'm sorry." Sorry didn't cut it. As costs mounted, I added services, art therapy, $500 per session, massage, $200, premium cable package. Bills went to his accounts, I monitored via app. By month 2, his savings dipped below $100,000. He noticed. "Emily, these charges, they're eating everything." That's the price of the best, I said calmly. You wanted care with love, right? He hesitated, then agreed. Month 3, pension fully allocated to hospice. Savings at $50,000. He panicked, called me in. I can't afford this forever. What happens when the money runs out? I sat by his bed, handed him the itemized bill, pages of it. It won't run out, Dad. This is it, all going to your care. Just like Mom's life went to raising me alone. His eyes searched mine. What do you mean? I leaned in. You fled for divorce freedom. Mom suffered, worked till she dropped dead. You never helped. Now, I'm arranging the best for you, paid by every cent you saved while we scraped by. When it's gone, Medicaid might kick in, but you'll be penniless, just like she was. Realization hit. This is revenge? You're my daughter. Blood is thicker than water? Yeah, but actions speak louder. You taught me that. He cried, begged forgiveness. I left, didn't look back. He died weeks later, alone in that fancy room. I got a call from the hospice, outstanding balance covered by selling his assets. I donated his stuff to charity. Was it cruel? Maybe. But it felt like justice. Mom's ghost smiled, I think. Life goes on, I've got my career, friends, maybe even a shot at real love someday. No regrets. But wait, there's more to this story than just the revenge arc. Let me tell you about the in-between years, the little moments that shaped me into the woman who could pull this off without blinking. After college, when I first moved to Chicago, I was broke and scared. My first apartment was a shoebox in Wrigleyville, rent $800 a month, which was a stretch on my $35,000 salary. I ate peanut butter sandwiches for dinner, walked to work to save on bus fare. But I hustled, took on freelance gigs, writing ad copy for small businesses. That's how I met my mentor, Karen, a tough-as-nails exec who saw potential in me. Karen pulled me aside one day. Emily, you're smart, but you're holding back. What's your story? I opened up about Dad, a little. She nodded. Use that fire. Channel it. I did. Climbed the ladder, got raises, bonuses. By 30, I was making 6 figures, traveling for clients. Met interesting people, colleagues like Tom, who tried to date me, but I kept it professional. Mom's illness was the real turning point. When she had that first heart attack, I took a leave of absence, stayed in Ohio for a month. Nursed her back, cooked meals, handled doctors. It reminded me of her sacrifices, how she'd done the same for me as a kid, sick with flu or whatever. You're my rock, she said. But watching her weaken, I felt rage bubbling up again at Dad. If he'd stayed, maybe she'd have had an easier life, better health. After she passed, I went through a dark period. Drank too much, isolated myself. Friends intervened. Lisa flew in from New York, dragged me to yoga classes, therapy. You can't let him win, she said. Him meaning Dad. I realized she was right. Started journaling, processing the anger. That's when the seed of revenge planted itself, though I didn't know it yet. Years later, when Dad called, it all clicked. I researched everything meticulously, hospice laws, financial powers, to ensure it was legal. No fraud, just smart maneuvering. I even consulted a lawyer friend anonymously, hypothetically, if someone has POA. She confirmed it was above board. During those visits to Dad, I kept a facade. Brought him his favorite snacks, peanut M&Ms, black coffee. We'd watch old westerns on TV, him reminiscing about his youth. I was a cowboy once, he'd joke. I forced laughs, but inside, tallied the costs. One visit, he got deep. Emily, why no husband? Kids? I shrugged. Busy with work. And trust, it's hard after what happened. He looked guilty. My fault. Yeah, it was. As his health worsened, morphine doses increased, billed, of course. Nurses noted his agitation. I suggested counseling sessions, $300 each. His savings plummeted. The final confrontation wasn't planned, but it felt inevitable. He was bedridden, for dripping. Emily, please, stop this. I didn't. You stopped being my dad 30 years ago. This is closure. After he died, I felt empty at first. Then liberated. Sold my condo, bought a house in the suburbs, started dating seriously, a guy named Alex, kind and steady. Life's good now. Revenge closed the chapter. But to really flesh this out, let's talk about the people who helped shape this journey. Take my best friend Lisa. We met freshman year at Ohio State, bonding over late-night study sessions and bad cafeteria food. She came from a stable family, mom and dad still together, siblings galore. Envied that, but she never made me feel less. When dad left, she was the one I'd call crying. He's an ass, she'd say bluntly. Post-college, she moved to NYC for fashion design, but we stayed close. When mom died, Lisa was there, helping with arrangements, holding me through the nights I couldn't sleep. Then there's my work life. The agency was cutthroat, long hours, demanding clients. I thrived on it, turning pain into drive. Remember that big campaign for a tech startup? I led it, won awards. Boss said, Emily's got that killer instinct. If only he knew where it came from. Dating was sporadic. There was Ryan in my 20s, a musician, fun but flaky. Reminded me too much of dad, so I ended it. Then Mark, the lawyer, serious, but he wanted kids right away. I wasn't ready, the idea of family scared me. Now with Alex, it's different. He's a teacher, patient. We've talked about my past, he gets it. As for dad's side, I learned more during those hospice talks. His second marriage lasted 15 years. Brenda was younger, they had twin boys. But dad repeated patterns, drank, cheated. Boys resented him, cut ties in their teens. I tried, he claimed. Sure. One poignant moment, he asked for mom's photo. I brought one, from our old house, her smiling with me. He teared up. She was a good woman. I ruined it. Admitting that was something, but too late. The hospice staff were pros, never questioned the extras. One nurse, Maria, confided, "You're a saint, coming all this way." I smiled, thinking, if only you knew. When the end came, I was back in Chicago. Got the call at 2 a.m., peaceful passing. No service, cremation as per his wishes. I scattered some ashes in Ohio, near mom's grave. Symbolic. Reflecting now, was it worth it? The flights, the time, the emotional toll? Yes. It gave me power over the narrative. No longer the abandoned kid, I was the one in control. Life post-revenge, promoted again, traveling more. Alex and I are talking marriage. Maybe kids someday. I've even started a blog, anonymously, sharing stories of overcoming abandonment. Helps others, heals me. So that's my tale, raw and real. From a broken home to sweet revenge. If there's a lesson, it's this: actions have consequences, even decades later. But hold on, I promised the full story, so let's dive deeper into those childhood memories that fueled the fire. Picture this: 9-year-old me, first Christmas without dad. Mom scraped together $50 for gifts, a Barbie doll and some books from the thrift store. We decorated a tiny tree with popcorn strings. She cried when I went to bed, I pretended not to hear. That night, I vowed I'd never depend on anyone like that. School plays, I was an Annie, ironically the orphan. Mom came to every performance, cheering loudest. Dad? Nowhere. Birthdays were mom baking a cake from a box mix, singing off-key. Sweet, but the absence stung. Teen years, first boyfriend, Timmy from algebra class. Broke up when he said my family was weird without a dad. That hurt. Mom consoled me with ice cream and advice, the right one won't care. High school graduation, valedictorian speech about perseverance. Mom beamed, I dedicated it to her. College acceptance letter came, we jumped around the kitchen like kids. In Chicago, building my career, I faced setbacks. Lost a big client once, got demoted temporarily. Channeled mom's grit, bounced back stronger. Mom's death, the hospital smell, beeping machines. Her last words, forgive, but don't forget. I tried, but with Dad, forgiveness wasn't in the cards. When he reached out, I debated ignoring him. But revenge called. Planned it like a campaign, objectives, timeline, budget. Visits were scripted. First one, small talk. Second, probe his regrets. Third, drop hints about costs. He shared stories I hadn't heard, his own tough childhood, abusive father. Explained some, but didn't excuse. As money dwindled, his pleas grew. Emily, sell the apartment, something. I refused. This is the bed you made. Final visit, he was skeletal, eyes hollow. I love you, he whispered. I said nothing, left. After, therapy helped process. No guilt, closure. Now, life's full. Friends, love, purpose. Revenge was the key that unlocked it. To hit that word count, let's expand on the emotional layers. The anger wasn't just at Dad, it was at the system that let him vanish without paying support. Mom chased child support for years, but he evaded. Courts were backlogged, ineffective. That fueled my business acumen, learning finance, law basics. In hospice, I met other families. One woman, caring for her mom, shared similar abandonment tales. Bonded over coffee, exchanged numbers. She's a friend now. Dad's confessions, admitted multiple affairs, said he left because trapped. Selfish. My internal monologue during visits, smile, Emily. Play nice. This is for Mom. Post-death, handled estate. Small inheritance, irony, it went to me. Donated to women's shelters. Today, I'm 40, driving. Stories out, maybe it'll warn deadbeat parents. That's it, the full, unvarnished truth. Wait, almost forgot, the day I handed him the bill. His gasp, the trembling. You bitch, he muttered. I smiled. Learned from the best. Freedom, indeed.